Hello. I want to tell you about a dream I had. I know, listening to other people's dreams can be rather boring, but this one comes with pictures.
So I laid down one night, and almost as soon as I closed my eyes, I was on a plane. But why? Where was I going? I didn't know. But it was nice to be in the air like that, floating among the clouds. It's the best way to travel. But then there was this river and a city, and I was like, whoa. A fog had spilled over the banks into the city streets, and no one was concerned, not one bit. This one guy casually vanished into the mist to go fishing. He must have been pretty serious about fishing. When the fog cleared, the contours of the city became clear. And the river, it was enormous. The Ohio River. It became pretty apparent once I looked around just where I was. Louisville, Kentucky. So I began to look around. There were people of all stripes and faiths. Going to work, going to play, some just going. Lawyers and musicians and students and police officers, everybody. And the streets were filled with constant traffic. It seemed to be a prosperous town. And the statues, man, the statues. There was one of George Rogers Clark, founder of Louisville. There was also York, too, a slave of the Lewis and Clark expedition. There was this nice statue of Thomas Jefferson in front of Louisville Metro Hall, given to the city in 1901. And there was an enormous gold man. I think his name was David, yeah? There were other statues too, like this river horse statue thing. Yeah, not sure what's happening here. Looks cool though. And this modern piece of abstract art sitting on the bank of the river. One of the coolest statues was this one, of the French King Louis XVI, who was the monarch of France and the namesake of Louisville, Kentucky. He was guillotined during the French Revolution in 1793. The statue was created in 1829 and erected in Montpellier, France. However, it was hid away during the Second French Revolution and was basically kept hidden until 1966, when it was gifted to Louisville. Of course, there was Benjamin Franklin, and there is always Benjamin Franklin. And there was this one of George Prentice, a controversial historical figure who didn't like Catholics or immigrants. I wonder if these balloons were placed there by a Catholic immigrant. And then we have Abraham Lincoln, somber, pensive, buried in a forest of contemplation. Next, I was off to Cherokee Hill Park, a kind of storybook fantasy land designed by the guy who co-designed New York's Central Park, Frederick Law Olmsted. Cherokee Hill also featured the Greek god Pan, seen here on a platform of symmetrically placed turtles in a fountain. And then there was the extraordinary Cave Hill Cemetery, a thickly forested city of the dead. This necropolis sprawled 300 acres and featured famous residents of all kinds, including George Rogers Clark, founder of Louisville, Colonel Sanders of KFC fame, and recently, Muhammad Ali. There were birds everywhere, ducks, geese, and others, like these cranes. There were so many cranes that I had to see where they were coming from, which led me to the Falls of the Ohio River, a kind of hole in the river. This place had exposed Devonian period fossil beds, and people came to see the fossils and to fish. There were a great many cranes, blue herons, black-crowned night herons, and great egrets. The great big birds were absolutely dwarfed by the damming structure that makes the falls of the Ohio possible. And people fished alongside the birds, even when water was being released through the dam. I came across the St. James Belgravia Historic District in Old Louisville, the largest collection of stately, century-old Victorian houses in the entire United States. Here I found another statue and another fountain, Venus Rising. Oh, and I found this gigantic tree near Spalding University. Look at this thing. It must have been over 300 years old. Was it the oldest organism in the entire city? Was it the wisest? The city was alive and rebuilding itself, and its citizens seemed relaxed and at play. Although, downtown seemed to be besieged by some kind of alien parasite. I hope they get that thing looked at. So, this was Louisville. Not at all what I was expecting. It's kind of neat. And with that, the dream was over. Maybe I should plan a visit. Then, in 1977, a wild sci-fi franchise appeared. And the decision was made to move Star Trek into feature film territory. Star Trek the Motion Picture was born out of